Gotta be fresh, gotta go downstairs. Gotta have my bowl, gotta have cereal. Seeing everything, the time is going, ticking on and on. Everybody's rushing, gotta get down to the bus.
Well, welcome to Double Talk. Yes. I'm Mark Steffen.
I'm Michael Mandel.
And we just saw a clip from Rebecca Black. What's the name of that song? Friday?
Friday. You know, if you're watching this, we played Friday because we thought that would be the last day that the Earth existed. And if you're not watching this, let me tell you, it was the last day the Earth existed was Friday because today is the Rapture.
Well, you know, if I had to watch much more of that song, I would pray for the Rapture.
I thought maybe that was the proof that we were actually living in hell.
Well, I wasn't feeling very rapturous watching it.
Really? You're sweating like you were. Yeah. So apparently during the Rapture, we don't know that much about it. And we don't know why they decided the Rapture was going to be May 25th.
But it looks something like that.
2021. Right, people, as they said on my Facebook page,
I know.
Well, God must have an incredibly good vacuum cleaner.
I know them, I know her, I know him. Oh.
And so only the people who were really good get pulled up into heaven, although there's not much to stand on there. It looks like they are being sucked up by a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
Kind of like fleas that you vacuum out.
Judgment Day, there it is. Blow the trumpet, warn the people. The Bible guarantees it. Also, Meyer, who does the show on Sunday, he is guaranteeing anybody who can find the word rapture in the Bible, he will give them $5,000. Is that true?
It's true.
$5,000 for anybody who actually sees the word.
He told me that personally.
And you can't cut out little letters and paste them together like you do when you do your blackmailing letters. You can't do that.
That's right. So apparently the word rapture doesn't exist in the Bible, although people think it does.
But
just like people think that Joan of Arc is Noah's wife.
Because she lived on the ark, right?
Same thing, right?
That's the type of ark. And here, you can have a hat. If
you survive the rapture, you get a hat.
Those of you who want the hat, take your scissors, cut it out of the screen. There you go. And just put it on your head. And we may be laughing at ourselves, haha, on Saturday. We tape this ahead of time. You probably can't tell because, we look like Saturday early morning people.
Well, if they would like to have those letters, what they can do is pause the show, if they have that capability, put a piece of tracing paper over the screen, tape it down.
Print it out on your computer.
And then, do it the old-fashioned way. And trace it out on a piece of paper, and then you color it in.
You mean they used to trace things out on their TV screens in the old days, like 1700s?
Sure. No, I did.
The old-fashioned. Right. When you were a kid?
Back before electricity, when you had to watch TV by candlelight.
I had a wooden TV, so it was very dangerous to watch it by candlelight. You had to have light made out of water, so it wouldn't catch fire.
When you change channels, you get splinters.
Yes, you did.
I remember those days.
Yeah, it was tough.
Barely.
Those days.
Well, I heard about them.
So let us know if the rapture occurred. If we don't see you walking around today, we will know that you have been taken by the rapture, and we're here in this hell. Well, but of course, if you're watching this show, you too are in hell.
No, let's we can't afford to lose very many viewers.
No, we can't.
Let's hope none of our viewers get raptured.
Well, our viewers are in heaven because this is heaven watching our show.
Well,
it's heaven. I'm in heaven. We have a new thing here.
Well, never mind. Let's not attract attention to things like that.
We want to.
But look, we have a new thing in Las Cruces.
We do.
If we don't all get raptured, from now on, what we do have to worry about is cops. Now, the city police have a quota system. Now they have so many quotas on various arrests and tickets they have to come up with, otherwise their jobs could be in jeopardy.
It's been around since April 10th.
And other police forces have had quotas in place for years, and which, you know, that's why you get pulled over so much.
I know, because I'm the stereotypical person. Oh, okay.
And so even fine.
And there I am without my toupee.
Well, what the police are saying now, they're kind of against this quota system, because they're saying, well, people that used to get tickets are not going to be arrested because we have to arrest so many people per month, and where before we might have just given them a ticket, we now have to arrest them so we don't lose our job.
But also people who might have gotten let off with a stern word of caution will now get a ticket.
Right.
So if you're not a hot-looking chick, watch out, because you'll get a ticket. Well, maybe even if you are a hot-looking chick, they will give you a ticket now.
Well, I know we're becoming more and more of a police state. That's obvious. But I think part of the reason they have a quota system is that the red light cameras now have taken so much work away from the police that they haven't been making their quotas before there were quotas. So because the red light cameras are providing so many tickets,
they're
police officers have to make up for it.
3 different locations. So cops, police, look at her. She's so happy. Those guys should get a ticket because they're sitting without seatbelts. They're singing a song. She's acting too cute and it's distracting everybody.
They should be cited for pollution just for the song alone.
Look at that. That's illegal to do in a car. This is as bad as using a cell phone, because you have to concentrate when you do this.
Well,
you're getting distracted.
So
is that Justin Bieber? Oh my God, it was Justin Bieber. I can't believe it.
So the cops are saying the point system is actually removing discretion from the police officer, and I agree with that.
So what are you saying? That police officers usually have discretion, some sense of discretion?
They used to be given.
They are discreet.
They used to be
They
given
won't
the
tell
option.
your mom when you're arrested.
No. Of whether they could give a ticket or not. They have the certain discretion whether they could even arrest you or not.
But don't you think that cops should even have discretion, even if they are forced to give tickets? They just have to stop more people, give people who they normally would have given a slap on the wrist to, let them go and go get somebody else.
No, sometimes they'll pull a car over, and they might be able to give legally 3 or 4 citations to that one person.
And they will.
They'll show discretion. They used to show discretion, maybe only give you 2 and give you a warning for the other 1 or 2. Now you're going to get a ticket for everything, baby.
As well as the fact that towards the end of the month, didn't you say that cops are more likely to pull you over?
Yes, certainly that's how it is with the state police, and it used to be in the past, the state police and the sheriff's department driving to El Paso. They had so many tickets per month they had to write, and speeding tickets. And so you definitely didn't want to speed the last week of the month, because you were more likely to get a ticket.
You talk about, what is that about?
Well, that's
our
Las Cruces channel on television. I don't know why we're showing that.
We're showing
Apparently
that
the world
because
still
that's
exists.
where you can get a ticket. We're watching ourselves on TV. So watch yourself while you're driving. I suppose that's what that means ultimately. You know, you're talking about we're getting more and more in a police state, the typical response of a natural paranoid. We've had
natural paranoid.
You're naturally paranoid.
No.
You've always been paranoid.
Just because
I've known you like 60 years.
Just because I think people are after me doesn't mean they're not.
Well, they're not. All those people following you, that's because you have a hole in your pocket and you keep dropping pennies. So that's why.
That's why they're following.
That's why they're following you. So that's working. But we've had cops with quota systems many times in the past, many different areas.
And it's not a good thing.
And do you realize that every time you sign on your computer, either Google or whatever, there are 57, so they say, certain places, 57 different parameters they can find out about you, because they're saying that Google...
And who's they?
They. Actually, if you look at TED TV, I'll spell that, TED. TED TV had Eli Parisher on from one of those organizations like Act Blue or Act Up. Act Now?
Act Up?
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. Anyway, if 2 different people in 2 different parts of the country go into Google looking for something based on the parameters they have found out about you from your 57 different types of things, you will get different information. If you're going to look
spam?
Up... No, if you're looking up Osama bin Laden, you will get different things if you lived in, what do they call Persia now? It's been so long. Iran. And that's your TV. So what is that? What are we supposed to do? Oh, it's an ad for us. Watch us 7 days a week. Most of those days we're not on, but you could watch us 7 days a week. So anyway, Google gets different things, but in a way, they are helping you find things that you want. If you have a habit of going on to look for liberal information, they will only give you liberal stuff. If you're conservative, they'll give you conservative.
So if you mix it up, they won't know what to do.
Yeah, but you're not going to mix it up because your habits tend to put you in certain niches. So it helps you out. This is when Microsoft came out with Bing, they were trying to make parameters so you don't have to look at unnecessary information. That's a good thing in a way, but if you look at it in terms of censorship, that becomes a thing where they are keeping you from it. In fact, Facebook puts on information, and this went around Facebook. Those of you I know who are on Facebook out there, if you looked at Facebook at certain people, like in my case, my daughter or other people, the information from those postings would come up first, would be on the top of the list. And then if it was somebody like you posting, who I never look at anyway, it'd be way down or maybe never. And so you'd get the ones that were more frequently visited, so you would look at them more often. If you didn't like that, if you don't like that function, what you can do is you go to the most recent things and you take off the algorithm they use. So whereas you say, I'm just telling you this as a paranoid person, because they are watching you.
You're sounding very paranoid.
They are watching you.
And all I know is Bing Crosby should be rolling over in his grave right about now.
Why? Because of the Rapture?
No.
Is that it?
No, because the word Bing.
Bing. Bing.
What he's become.
It just happens quickly. You want information? Bing. There it is. That's it. What does happen to people who are buried during the Rapture?
Buried?
Worry about this.
Do they come flying up out of the ground?
Yes. What about people who
it's only alive people get raptured, right?
No, I think if you were good in the past, you get raptured. What happens if you were incinerated? You know, what do they call that?
Well, they don't take your corporeal body, do they? They just want your spirit.
Is that
People
what
don't
gets
actually
raptured?
fly off. What about my dog? I wouldn't want to go without my dog and the cat.
They're dead already.
My goldfish.
They're dead. Your goldfish?
You know.
You're
going to get raptured without your pets that you love?
You have your goldfish. Didn't you swallow it? Isn't that how it died?
No, back in college,
yes.
You know, with the togas and all.
I don't know how we got back onto Rapture, but what were we talking about?
But look, there's a skeleton being raptured right there.
You can't be raptured as a skeleton, you know. People,
why not?
Because you can't talk to anybody seriously. They'll see right through your argument.
They'll see right through. Well, you know, it's so much for anorexia.
So then you have all these souls up in heaven. You know what they're singing?
I'm in heaven.
No, I ain't got no body.
Well, I should hope not.
Yes.
The worms ate it all in the grave.
So that's a quota system for. What is a quota system for the Rapture? How many people are they allowed to take?
There's only like, what, 14,000? Something like that?
Well, that's under one thing, but then there's those people who thought that the Rapture is going to be 2012 because that gives you time to, you know.
No, that's not the Rapture in 2012. That's end times.
The end of times?
End times.
End times?
Actually, nobody really knows what's going to happen in 2012. That's just the end of the Aztec calendar.
Yes. Well, maybe they will get one of those messages on their computer to say you can sign up for another 2012 years. You know, because they do that. I know with programs that Microsoft.
Well, you know, talk about end times. For some reason, George Bush bought 90,000 acres of land down in Uruguay, which is a military dictatorship. He should feel right at home there.
Yes.
But apparently they're all going to leave the country quickly and run down to Uruguay.
Who? Oh, the Bushes?
Or Paraguay, rather.
Paraguay?
Yeah.
Uruguay go to Paraguay?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you go your way, I'll go my way.
Okay.
Is that what that's about?
Anyway.
Well, we're almost ready for a break.
We've got to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about Judge Murphy and the pay-for-play scandal with Governor Richardson.
Then pay-per-view will do.
So we'll come back right after